What's up YouTube, Lair here with wargames, bringing you a full-powered Diabolos deck profile. Now this is as pure as I can possibly make it, and making it as strong and as competitive as possible as well. Now it can be made with more of a budget in mind, so we showed you what you can do with free structure decks. Now if you want to use a bit more of outside influence of cards, it can be made cheaper than this by taking out like your stuff like your Ash Blossoms, your Regekis, and swapping them out for more destructive or like for likes as a cheaper variant. So like you've got Reapers as an option instead of Ash. You've got your Effect Veilers as well. And in doing so, you then take out the expensive extra deck cards and put in weaker extra deck cards or cheaper extra deck cards. But then of course it then won't be at its max potential. So this is without any budget in question. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the deck profile, show you what we've got and why we've got it, and then probably show you just how in-depth it can go. So we'll start off with the main deck, and of course we play triple Darkest Diabolos, Lord of the Lair. Now you can, if you wanted to, again to help make it cheaper, you could put in Kaijus and trade-in in this version. But because I'm only playing 3 level 8s, I'm not going to put trade-ins in here. Obviously trade-in does help to get this to the graveyard and give you another 2 draws, or a like for like kind of thing, so that is an option should you wish to try it. Triple Lilith, your searcher of the deck. Now this can actually, it just searches you any normal trap. It doesn't say normal virus or normal of anything else, it's just normal trap. So when we get to the traps, you'll see why we've got such a range of those, because she chooses 3 and then your opponent gets to add 1. Chooses 1 at random as well, so it's not as if they get a choice, it's randomly chosen for you. 3 of the field spell searcher. Now you can put in on the field spells, put in like a terraforming instead if you want to, but because this card can consistently search it, it kind of counts as a a terraformer in itself, and then the fact that you can get a tribute and a straw or a tribute and a search is also very, very important. Triple Eater of Millions, because you don't rely on the extra deck, it's a dark, it's very, very helpful, and it's a pain in the ass to deal with. It's a very powerful card that can kind of work around it. If you wanted to make it even stronger, you can put in Card of Demise, not Card of Demise, sorry, Pot of Desires. But in this version, the reason we're playing it at 3 is just because it's a helpful deck. You don't need to make it incredibly strong. You can just use its effect to deal with any kind of problematic monsters, and then you go in with the rest of your cards to use and abuse your viruses. What you do have to keep in mind is this card cannot be tributed. So you can't use it for your trap cards, but it's still very, very helpful in the sense of pulling out boards. And if you have Eater of Millions and a Darkest Diabolos, and let's say your opponent's got a Kaiju in hand, that Kaiju is now null and void and pointless because it can't tribute either of these. We've then got 2 Vanity's Fiend. Again, you don't have to play this. This just came in the structure deck, so it's a nice and easy put into this deck. It's a Fiend, it's dark, so it kind of operates with the deck. And then being able to get a Vanity's Fiend on board, you can get rid of it when you want to with some of your viruses, but it also shuts your opponent down and can cause them quite a lot of issues. So you basically make your opponent exhaust resources to try and get rid of Vanity's Fiend, and at that moment when they're going to go, right, cool, I'm now going to attack and destroy it, or I'm going to Regeki it, you can then chain one of your viruses, get rid of Vanity's Fiend himself, and then start your plays off from there. And then because budget isn't an issue, on this one we've got triple Ash Blossoms and double Ghost Ogre. They are in different colour sleeves because they bounce back and forth between decks, and I want to try and avoid taking them in and out of sleeves to minimise the damage on these. But you don't have to play these. I think Ghost Ogre is slightly cheaper now, not much cheaper, but it is a cheaper option. If you wanted to, you could take out 3 for Effect Veilers and go 2 level 8 Kaijus, or you go 3 level 8 Kaijus and 2 trade-ins. So that's just your options there on the monsters. Now moving on to the spells, we play triple Law of Darkness. Our whole deck is dark minus our hand traps, so this is always going to be useful for you. Double Lair of Darkness, because it is easily searchable. You could play a 3rd if you wanted to, but it might get a little bit cloggy. But just making all face-up monsters on the field become dark, and then if you attribute summon a monster, or if you attribute a monster, you can try to activate a card or effect. You can treat one of your one dark monster your opponent controls as if you controlled it. So if they've got, like, let's say they've got Masterpiece unaffected by traps and monsters, you activate Lair of Darkness, and you've got a Vanity's Fiend in hand, you can tribute off their Masterpiece for your Vanity's Fiend, which is really, really cool and powerful. Triple Call by the Grave, because you do not want to get hand trapped. You search quite a lot. Your Lilith searches, your Aham searches for the field spell. Call of the Grave can be very, very painful. So hand traps can be very, very painful. So Call by the Grave can help you save that and allow your consistency to maintain. Then we've got a lot of one-offs. We've got the one Foolish Burial, the one Dark Hole, and the one Raigeki. So those chances that you get told to go second. You still have the ability to board wipe and then go further forward. And then the same with the Ash Blossoms and Ogres. These are my higher rarity ones, so they're bouncing between decks. So that's it for the spells. Now onto the traps. This is the best part of the deck in my opinion. So you've got triple trench tribute. Because it's a normal trap, it's searchable. Easy as that. Double back to the front, normal trap, it's searchable. One Storm Mirror Force and one Mirror Force. These can be 2 of one or more if you want to. But again, normal trap, they're searchable, so it gives you the option. So you can choose Mirror Force, Storm Mirror Force, and a Trench of Tribute, and your opponent goes, well, we are going to get one of them to hand. And then when your opponent knows they don't know exactly which one you've got, but once they know you've got one of these, they're always going to try to play around it or bait it out, which means they've got to exort more resources or go round further. And then for the viruses, we've got 2 Grinning Grave Virus, the brand new card, and 1 Eradicator Epidemic. If you wanted to go more with the viruses, you can do. The issue that we've kind of got at this moment in time is Full Force Virus is the better option, but most of our Dark Monsters don't have 2,000 or more defense, so it's not as relevant. Like it only really affects the Diabolos. It's the only one that has 2,000 or more defense, whereas Deck Devi again only hits monsters with 15 or less attack. And though it's helpful in certain matchups, right now in this meta, it doesn't actually hit a huge amount, because if you look at Dracos, it won't hit any of those attacks. You look at Pendulum Magicians, whatever it hits that's that low, like Purple Poison is going to pop cards you control anyway. So these were kind of the best options of your viruses, and again, because they're all normal traps, they are easily searchable. Okay, so now on to our extra deck. Now the extra deck, like I said, is up to you. You can make it however you want to. You can make it more Reaper orientated, you can make it less Reaper orientated. But I'll show you the kind of cards that I think are staple or that you should play in the deck. And then with your Eater of Millions, you can get rid of them whether they come dead or not. So you've got your Black Rose Moon and your Black Rose Dragon. These are because if you ever normal summon, if you have your Arum on board and you need, you get one of your hand traps on board, you can make either of these and it's just resetting the board state. You don't have to play these, like I said, they're just options to work with. You've got Stardust Charge and Coral Dragon, again, options for your level 6s should you get a hand trap on board and a Lilith and not want to use the Lilith search or already have what you have and Lilith is a dead card. You can sync these up, discard cards you don't need and start popping cards and drawing cards. The exact same stuff with Charge Roar. Again, these don't have to be played, they are an option. For our Link Monsters, we've got the 1 Proxy Dragon, the 1 Underclock. This could be a second Underclock if you want to. You've got the 1 Deco Talker, and then you've got Borrowload, Firewall, and Saruja. Again, more like Reaper targets than you're going to actually make these, but they are options for you. And again, ABC Buster Dragon as another option. Now the cards, I think, again, you've got Breaksword, which I think is a nice little option. If you don't want to Synchro, you've got Breaksword to go in as an option. But the only cards that I think you have to play in this deck, in this version, is probably some rank 8s. You've got the Owlsy, the Sylvan High Protector. This is my personal choice. But then you've got number 38, Hope Harbinger, Dragon Titanic Galaxy is kind of like a staple rank 8 in any rank 8 deck. And then more specifically for this deck is Heretic Sun, Dragon Overlord of Heliopolis. It's 2 level 8 monsters, and then once per turn you detach a material from this card, tribute any number of monsters from your hand and or your side of the field, minimum 1, destroy cards, equal number of cards on the field. Now the best thing about that, I believe, is a bit old text, but it might actually work, is with your Diabolos, if a dark monster you control is tributed, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from the graveyard. So you could, if you had if you have a Diabolos in your hand or graveyard, you could overlay this, detach a material, use the effect to destroy, like tribute a dark monster, another dark monster on the field that you control, or if you've got Lair of Darkness, you can tribute one of your opponent's monsters, I believe, and then pop another one of your opponent's monsters. You've got rid of 2 monsters. Then, because it's a dark monster, you get to revive a Diabolos. Let me just double check. Yeah, because this is if a dark monster you control is tributed, and the field spell says you tribute your opponent's monsters as if you control them. So there's a couple of little plays you can make that way that makes this card really, really helpful, because you then get to pop more monsters and revive stuff as well. So that is probably your one card that I say must be in every deck. It's an odd one that people won't think of because it's, it's like a level 8 dragon that doesn't see a lot of play. But the fact that it says tribute can be very, very important for the deck as a whole. So That's kind of really good for that. Anyway, that is it for the deck profile. Hope this helps. Hope this has given you an idea to kind of mix and match with some of your own versions of the Darkest Diabolos deck. I thoroughly enjoy the deck. I really enjoy. I think the art type's really nice. It may not be meta defining and absolute destroy in the meta, but it's still a very fun deck, especially for a fan of dark monsters like myself. But I hope this helps. I hope you like it. Please, if you did hit that notification bell, subscribe and give us a massive thumbs up on the video for more deck profiles, duels, and of course openings for you guys. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as always, happy dueling. Also YouTube, thanks for watching that video. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit that like button, and of course don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button in the bottom left hand corner and the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. We've got more deck profiles, duels, pack openings and many more Yu-Gi-Oh videos coming up for you all year round, so don't forget to stay tuned for all of that. Thanks, and as always guys, happy dueling.